Right now, somewhere in this world, a man is sleeping on cold concrete, and somewhere else, another man just woke up in a private estate, with staff already moving through the halls before sunrise, same planet, same 24 hours. But two completely different realities. What separates them isn't just money. It's the texture of every single moment, what they feel the second they open their eyes, what their first thought is, what they fear, and what they don't. Today, we're going to live every single one of those lives, from the homeless man counting seconds until dawn, all the way to the billionaire, whose morning brief arrives before he's even lifted his head from the pillow. This isn't about judgment. This is about understanding what life actually looks like across the full spectrum of wealth in the modern world. Stay with me, because by the end of this, you'll see the world completely differently. Level 1. The alarm that wakes you isn't a phone. It's the city, traffic, voices, a garbage truck scraping the street at 5 a.m. Your body is stiff in ways that don't go away with stretching, because concrete doesn't give, no matter how exhausted you are. Before you even open your eyes, your hand moves to your bag, just to check, just to make sure it's still there. This is how your day begins. Not with coffee, not with a calendar, with survival math. Your first goal, the one that comes before food, before anything, is a bathroom. You scan the mental map you've built over weeks. The McDonald's 2 blocks over sometimes lets you in before the morning rush. The gas station attendant depends on who's working. The park restroom is open, but it isn't safe alone. If you have a phone, it's cracked. The battery is somewhere between 12% and dead. Wi-Fi is something you hunt, not something you have. Every outlet you pass, in a library, a fast food place, a corner of a hospital waiting room, is a lifeline. Food comes next. A church breakfast if you know the schedule. A soup kitchen if the line isn't already around the block. A dollar menu item if you have coins. You eat whatever you can carry because there is no kitchen to come back to. Hunger isn't dramatic. It's just constant. A low-frequency hum underneath everything else. The library becomes your office, your living room, your sanctuary. Warmth, outlets, a chair no one will take from you. At least for a few hours. You look for day labor postings. You watch your bag every single second. And then comes the wall that no one talks about. Paperwork. No ID means no job. No job means no address. No address means no ID. It is a loop that was designed, whether intentionally or not, to keep people exactly where they are. Getting a state ID requires documents you don't have, fees you can't pay, and an address you don't possess. By evening, you face the night's central question: shelter or street? The shelter has rules, lines, and the quiet chaos of dozens of people in the same desperate situation. The street has cold, noise, and risk. But also the thin illusion of freedom. You tuck what little you have into the inside of your clothing. You sleep lightly. Morning will come early, and you will begin again. Level 2. Deep poverty. You have a roof. That matters. Never forget that it matters. It's a week-to-week room, or a crowded apartment split 3 ways because none of you could afford it alone. The mattress sits low. Some nights the heat works. Some nights it doesn't, and you pile on whatever you have and tell yourself it's fine. Your prepaid phone is the command center of your life. You check it first thing, not social media, not the news. You check whether service is still running. You count bus passes. You do the money math before your feet hit the floor. Breakfast is whatever stretches. Oatmeal, eggs, toast. If you have children, they eat first. School breakfast will carry them through the morning, and you've marked the food pantry days on the calendar like holidays. Because in a way, they are. Getting to work is its own cost. The bus runs late. The old car has a check engine light that has been glowing for 3 months, and you have made your peace with it. Your hours shift week to week. You say yes to every extra shift, every call-in, every gig, not because you want to, but because you cannot afford the cost of saying no. Bills are not paid. They are managed. Rent is first. Electric can wait 3 more days. The money order comes from the corner store because bank overdraft fees cost more than the bill itself. Healthcare is the clinic 6 weeks out, or urgent care when the pain becomes impossible to ignore. You refill one prescription now and push the other to next week. Dental work is a luxury you defer until it becomes an emergency. At night, you check tomorrow's schedule. You set 2 alarms. You write the list, Call the landlord, reschedule the appointment, check if the pantry opens early this week. You sleep under a roof. And you are grateful for it. Because you know what the alternative looks like. Level 3. Working poor. The alarm goes off before sunrise and you are already moving. You rent a small apartment. The lease is month to month, or a 1 year you signed last spring hoping things would stabilize by now. You share the space with a partner, a child, a roommate. Because the math only works if someone else is in it with you, the first thing you check is the bank app. Not because you want to, because you have to. Direct deposit was supposed to hit last night. You need to know before you plan anything. Coffee is made at home. Lunch is packed. Buying food at work is a $10 decision that turns into a $200 a month problem, and you have done that math so many times it lives permanently in the back of your mind. Your job is physical, retail, warehouse, food service, care work. You stand most of your shift. You move fast. Your manager tracks your time in increments you can feel. Breaks are short and you use them to check your schedule app. Because next week's hours determine next week's survival. Health insurance exists on paper, but the deductible is high enough that you avoid using it unless the alternative is worse. You stretch shoes past the point of comfort. You skip the dentist for the 3rd year in a row. On the way home, you stop for groceries. You use the loyalty card. You check prices between 2 stores in your head before choosing. You pay one bill online and push another to next week. You move $20 into savings, and then you pull it back 2 days later when a tire goes soft. At night you open the mail. Utility bill. Small credit card balance you're chipping away at. A rent notice. You text a contact about a weekend side gig. You open a certification course on your phone and make it 12 minutes before your eyes close. You set 2 alarms. You lay out tomorrow's clothes. You do it again. Level 4. Lone middle class. You wake up in a small apartment or a modest starter home you worked hard to get into. The place is clean. You keep it that way, not because you have help, but because order is the one thing you can control. A running list on the fridge tracks bills and due dates. Coffee brews while you check the calendar. You have a steady job. Pay comes every other Friday. Health insurance and a small 401k match are deducted automatically, and you feel something close to pride about that. You drive a reliable used car with a loan, or you take the commuter train with a monthly pass. You know exactly how much gas costs this week. You keep jumper cables in the trunk and a tire gauge in the glove box because you learned the hard way what happens when you don't. At work, your role is clear. You answer emails, manage inventory, handle customers, run reports. You know your schedule weeks in advance. You track your PTO carefully, saving a few hours for emergencies. Because an emergency is coming. It always does. Lunch is packed. The $12 cafeteria meal is a treat for once in a while, not an everyday habit. At the grocery store, you price shop between stores. You buy some things in bulk. You use reward points. You replace things when they wear out, not when you want to. You plan one short road trip each year and save cash for it because you've learned that spontaneous spending is the fastest way backward. At night, the bills are reviewed. The student loan drafts tomorrow. You move a little into savings, leave a buffer for gas. You feel organized. You feel, for the most part, okay. You sleep with a list for the next day and a small cushion in the bank. That cushion is everything. Level 5. Middle class. The thermostat is set. The appliances work. The coffee timer was programmed the night before, and it is already brewing when you wake up. You live in a 3-bedroom house or a solid apartment you intend to stay in. There is a mortgage or a stable lease. The nightstand was bought new. Your phone charges on it. These are small things. But if you've ever lived without them, you know they're not small at all. Bills are on autopay. The emergency fund exists and has actual money in it. Retirement contributions happen every paycheck without you having to decide. They're just there, building slowly in the background. Breakfast has choices. You drive a late model car under warranty. Insurance, maintenance, gas. Routine expenses, not crises. You pay your credit cards in full each month and collect points you actually use. At work, you have real meetings and real projects. You have paid time off, and you know when you'll take it. The 401k match is there, and you push a little extra in when a bonus comes. There's a 529 account somewhere, building slowly for a future that's still years away. At lunch, you check the budget app. A bigger than expected bill posted, but the buffer absorbed it. You adjust a sinking fund. You compare quotes before major purchases. You plan travel months ahead, after work, the gym, dinner at home, takeout once or twice a week without guilt. You schedule the plumber, instead of watching YouTube tutorials for 3 hours and making it worse. You book the dental appointment before the tooth hurts. At night, you help with homework, watch a show, order a birthday gift without checking your balance first. You feel stable. There is margin. Level 6. Upper middle class. The house is quiet when you wake up. You own it. It's in a good school district. A fact you researched carefully before signing anything. The thermostat set itself. The robot vacuum ran at 2 a.m. The coffee maker started on a schedule. You glance at your phone. Work calendar, kids' activities, a reminder that the cleaner comes Friday. Bills are auto-paid. Money moves monthly into investments and savings without you touching it. At work, you lead. A team, a caseload, a client book, a code base. You have control over your schedule on most days. You work from home twice a week. Health insurance is strong. You go to regular checkups and don't delay anything for cost. The budget app shows a big annual bill posted, but the sinking fund covered it. College savings drafts tomorrow. You let it run. When something breaks at home, you call a professional, not because you can't figure it out, but because you've decided your time is worth more than the savings. You pay for lawn care. You pay for the cleaner. You book flights months ahead and use points for one ticket. The kids have lessons and sports. You can cover the fees and the gear and the tournament travel without a family meeting about whether you can afford it. At night, you sign a school form, order something online without checking your balance, and review tomorrow's agenda. You feel secure. You feel future-focused. You are building wealth while living comfortably today. Level 7. Comfortable rich. Low millionaire. Your net worth is in the low millions, and it didn't happen by accident. Home equity. Retirement accounts. A taxable investment account. Maybe a rental property or a small business on the side. The mortgage is manageable, or nearly paid off. A CPA handles your taxes. A financial advisor or a plan you genuinely understand manages the rest. Money moves automatically every month into investments. You carry an umbrella insurance policy. You drive a near luxury car, paid off. If your phone breaks, you replace it the same day without tracking the purchase. Work is senior level. You run a team, a practice, your own company. Your calendar is yours. You can take a real vacation. And your income continues while you do. Healthcare is proactive. Specialists when needed. No delay for cost. During the day, you approve a home repair without shopping every single quote. You book solid seats on the flight without thinking about it. You donate to causes you care about, not to feel good, but because you've built a life with enough margin to give. At night, you review your investment summary, sign a document from your accountant, plan next year's trip abroad and a home renovation for the spring. You feel set. Level 8. Ultra rich, 100 million. You wake up, and the day has already been organized for you. Your chief of staff sent a morning brief before sunrise. Today's meetings. A travel window. A market summaries. A note about a donation. Security has already reviewed the route if you leave the property. Your trainer is waiting in the private gym. Breakfast is prepared by a chef. Your money is spread across public stocks, private companies, real estate, and cash, managed by a family office. A small dedicated team that runs not just your investments but your life legal, tax, travel, properties, staff. You review a one-page dashboard, net worth, cash on hand, new deals, risks. You approve and move on. You meet founders, CEOs, bankers, heads of state. You ask short, direct questions and find the thing that matters. You make 2 or 3 major decisions a day. The rest is delegated. Travel is completely on your terms. If you fly today, a jet is ready on your schedule. You land close to the meeting and return the same day. You give money with intention, a foundation. A donor-advised fund, a research lab, a hospital wing. You track impact reports, not receipts. At home, the house manager handles everything. Repairs happen without you knowing they were needed. At night, your chief of staff sends a final update. The jet is fueled. Tomorrow's route is confirmed. You turn off the light knowing your actual time, is protected. Level 9. Billionaire. You wake up in one of several homes, staff are already moving, shades open automatically, the room is perfectly quiet. Your chief of staff's brief is already on your phone. Overnight markets, key headlines, today's decisions that need your attention, and travel options in case plans change. Your net worth lives mostly inside companies you own or control. The family office is the machine that runs everything else. Your investment lead meets you for a one-page review. Big numbers move with a few choices. Buy more. Sell a stake. Fund a new idea. Walk away. The right answer is worth more than 1,000 wrong ones. So you think slowly and carefully before you speak. At 9 a.m., you meet a founder. At 11, you take a call with a head of state. At 2, you're with your own CEO. You ask the question no one else in the room is willing to ask. Your name moves prices, so your legal and PR teams manage when and how things are announced down to the minute. You give at scale. A hospital wing in a city you've never visited. A research grant that might produce a vaccine in 20 years. A relief fund that moves money in 48 hours. You track outcomes, not receipts. Late afternoon is family. You can appear at a recital, a game, or dinner with almost no notice, because the infrastructure of your life was built to give you that flexibility. A private doctor handles your health. A house manager handles everything else. At night, the final brief arrives. Markets are stable, or they aren't, and the plan adjusts either way. Security confirms tomorrow. The jet is ready, you turn off the light. Time, attention, and options, all under your control. Here's the thing that should stay with you. Every single person in this video. From the man sleeping on concrete to the billionaire in the private estate. Woke up today. They had 24 hours. And what filled those hours was determined not just by ambition or intelligence, but by systems, by access, by the invisible infrastructure of each level. The homeless man isn't struggling because he doesn't try. He's struggling because every system he touches creates another wall. The billionaire isn't winning because he works harder. He's winning because his decisions compound, and the infrastructure around him is designed to protect that compounding at every step. Understanding this doesn't mean giving up. It means seeing clearly. And when you see clearly, you can move with intention. If this opened your eyes to something you hadn't thought about before, share it with someone who needs to see it. And tell me in the comments, which level are you building toward? And what's your next move? Subscribe, next video suggestion.